feel like the person that's got all the ideas and willing to take the risks, but I never know how to execute them correctly.
You think you're going pretty good, and then she'll throw a curveball.
I see that spark and her creativity dwindle sometimes. It never goes. If she doesn't make that step, I fear that she's going to lose that spark.
My name's Leah, I'm from Wollongong and I own Leah Mitchell Floral. So I got into being a florist when I was 15. I actually had some bullying happen at school. I was quite depressed and I'd always been really creative. My parents knew family friends that owned a flower shop and they asked if I could be the Saturday girl sweeping the floors and cleaning buckets, and the minute I was in there I just loved the florist shop and the atmosphere and being with flowers. So I went to TAFE and did my TAFE course when I was 17 and bought my first flower shop at 18 and a half. And I've been a florist ever since. So I actually went to university after I finished my HSC to be a teacher and decided it wasn't really for me. I was working at a flower shop and it went up for sale. I said to Mum and Dad, I really want to do this. I don't want to work a 9-to-5 job for someone else. I want to own my own business. And shockingly, they lent me the money and Mum left her job at David Jones and came and worked with me, and it was a family business that we ran for 10 years. And very successful, overwhelming, amazing, learnt a lot.
Hi, I'm Leah's dad. My name's Ian. I don't come from a rich family. I've been just a battler all my life. So we dug deep and then we all worked in together to make the business thrive. We're just that type of people, you know.
So the business was very much family run. I was the florist. I trained my mum as a florist. My dad would do deliveries after he finished work. My brother would come and help on Mother's Day or Valentine's Day. My now husband, who is then my boyfriend, he would do deliveries when he wasn't at work. It was a family operation, and sometimes it was the best thing in the world and sometimes it was fireworks, working with family.
Well, she means everything. I mean, both my kids do, you know, but she's just so special, you know. I was the one who was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, taking her to the market. She'd sleep from to the market, so I'd turn into the market, so I'd tap her on the shoulder and say, wake up, we're here, you know, and then we'd go and fill the car up with flowers and drive home again. So that's my love for her.
So I was worn out. I was working 6 to 7 days a week and I started doing weddings, and I really loved the wedding side of the business. So I decided to sell the flower shop so that I could concentrate solely on being a wedding florist. I continued on doing wedding flowers under Leah Mitchell Floral and built that up over the last 10 years.
Floristry is a tough business. Now I know a lot of people have given it a crack, and it is not easy. And for Leah to start her own floristry business when she's only young is a really big deal. Young entrepreneurs simply don't have the same experience as those that are older than them. That's not a criticism, it's reality, and it's an observation too. So in that case, you've got to look to others around you to provide the support for the things that are not necessarily in your area of expertise.
Okay, yeah, my name's Craig. I'm Leah's husband of 10 years tomorrow. I work as a police officer for 16 years. We've been together since high school. She's always been the same. She's always had that spark, that drive, the creativity. Being
a mum and a business owner, I've had to become very good at setting boundaries and knowing that I own a business to give me flexibility and freedom to be a good mum. I also have had some issues with mental health at times. Last year in 2020, I actually was diagnosed with ADHD, which I had my whole life and I had no idea. So that was a huge adjustment period to know that my brain's wired completely different to most people, but very validating and made a lot of sense.
I was oblivious. I just thought she was just a high-spirited young daughter. She's so active, you know, because the old brain says, I've got to do this.
She's 100 miles an hour, and then she crashes and burns by the time she gets home, when she's in her comfort zone. I think it grounded her a lot to know.
With ADHD, it gives you so many amazing skills. You are typically creative, very intuitive, quite a risk taker, but it does come with a lot of issues too. Everything in life feels harder to accomplish. We are wired differently in our brain, so it's a lot harder to complete certain tasks. Like, I can do an amazing wedding and have it organised and planned and execute it beautifully, but I might struggle to fold 4 baskets of washing, and they'll sit there for 2 weeks because that's just the way my ADHD brain works.
Yeah, I think Leah's her own worst enemy sometimes. She puts a lot of pressure and expectations on herself. That makes her become a bit of a perfectionist.
The business has grown so quickly, and it's just become a bigger baby than I ever imagined it would become. The first lockdown, I actually pivoted into teaching floristry and education. I taught florists how to run flower businesses, how to design flowers. That was amazing, and that grew and grew, and then the wedding flower side grew and grew, and then we got locked down again. And so I have got this absolute backlog of weddings that still need to be done. I'm in this period that the business has just exploded, but I don't know where to go and manage being a good business owner, a good mum, a good wife, a good friend. Like, how do I have all those things and have a really successful business? I just feel a bit frightened about what happens here.
When you run a business, your brain never stops thinking about what's immediately gonna hit you next. You're focused on the next weekend where you've got 5 weddings to deliver for. Your car just broke down on the way to the markets, or whatever. There's always something. Point is this: it can be tough to reassess the big picture of your business if you're stuck in it 24/7. You've got to take a step back. It's something I always repeat to myself. It is so important. Don't get caught up in your business. Businesses aren't static, they're totally dynamic. That means your approach to them has to be dynamic as well. So, be like Leah. Don't be afraid to switch things up. The only caveat is that when you switch it up, you need to back yourself completely, because business can be daunting enough when others do doubt you or might doubt you. You don't need one more doubt from yourself into the mix. Then let's look at the florist business. What is the issue?
I feel like I'm doing too many weddings after COVID, and it's exhausting and burning me out.
But isn't that a good thing?
It is, and it isn't.
But how can it be both? I mean, I bet you when you weren't doing any weddings, you're saying, God, I wish I was doing weddings.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, you can't have it every way, I
No,
guess. I mean, like, it is what it is. The florist industry is a really tough industry. I've been involved with various people in the florist industry, and a lot of them go broke.
Yeah.
You, on the other hand, have the absolute opposite problem. I would say you're blessed.
Thank you.
Okay? So, be careful
Yeah.
that the damn wall doesn't break and everything just runs away from you
Yeah.
and goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I would be very concerned about that if I was you.
Okay.
You've got to think positive about this stuff.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. Well, look, I just want to play something to you.
And so I have got this absolute backlog of weddings that still need to be done. There's weeks that just make me feel sick in the tummy because I don't know how I'm going to cope with the amount of work.
Let me stop there. Don't ever feel sick on the stomach because you're busy. Serious.
Yeah.
Bless yourself, thank God, pray to Allah, whatever.
Yeah.
Never ever say that, because that's the worst thing you can say. To those people who are in your industry who are looking to you
Yeah.
for guidance and for inspiration, they're gonna say, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, what's this girl doing? You know, like, so just be careful. Don't ever feel sick on the stomach because you're doing well, okay?
Yes.
Rise up to the occasion and feel really good about it, because that's what
Okay.
you've done something good, okay? Let's just go on and hear what your husband, this is your husband, isn't it?
Yes, that's
The way she is at the moment, I think the business will struggle. I think she will burn out. I see some telltale signs.
Okay. What are you gonna do about not burning out?
I think I struggle with the guilt.
Well, why?
Mummy life can be very demanding. You get very judged a lot. And I know, like, a lot of the school mums judge me because I'm not around as much, or I'm not at the school gate at 2:35 every afternoon. I know that people judge me for that.
Why do you know? How do you know that?
You get the looks.
Yeah, well, maybe you're looking back and thinking, you lazy, whatever. You have to change your mindset.
Yeah, I think mindset's a huge thing for me.
That's what you have to do. If you want to be in business, you have to have a business mindset, okay?
Yeah. If I completely lose it, there's no business anyway.
Correct.
For anyone, so...
That's what mindset is, though. It's, I got to go away for 3 days. You're on your own.
Yeah.
Do your best. But if you need a rest, take a rest.
Yeah, that's something I'm a bit guilty of. I've always felt that I couldn't have a holiday. I couldn't do this, couldn't do that.
No, that's guilt, man.
I went back to work 11 days after giving birth to my daughter because it was... And I think that was stupid.
It's not stupid so much, it's commitment, but it's overdoing it.
Like, she draws her own bar very high. We never expect or never want any more from her. She's successful, she's a great mother, a great wife, and that's why we love her.
No, I don't have a problem with obsession.
Yeah.
As long as you know when you apply obsession. So if I'm going to be obsessed with something, I apply obsession. I say, okay, I've got to get obsessed with this. Mm-hmm. And then when I'm finished with doing what I'm doing, I put the obsession back in the box.
And switch it off.
Yeah, switch it off. It's awareness of these things. Switching them on, switching them off. Mm-hmm. Charm when it needs to have charm. Switch the charm off when you need to be firm.
Yes.
When everything hits you at once, the privilege of entrepreneurship can feel like the world's biggest burden. You think, why the hell am I doing this? But at the end of the day, you've got to be grateful for that. And gratefulness works. Businesses, like everything else, work in cycles. And you never know when the next down period is going to hit you. So thank your lucky stars that you're busy right now. That's a great problem to have. In my opinion, everything worth fighting for just unbalances your life. There's no real work-life balance. You've got to be prepared to commit to the thing you want to run with, be it your business, your family, or whatever it is at the time. And you've got to understand you've got to backfill on things when you get the opportunity. It's not a beautiful, smooth stream. Backfilling makes it lumpy. Leah's post-COVID wedding boom is about to hit her, and she needs to get her mindset right before it does and concentrate on that boom and stop worrying about all the other stuff. Would you say you're one of the better wedding florists? Would you?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. So why do you think they come to you?
Because of my reputation.
Right. So what leverage does that give you?
I guess set a precedence.
Yeah, you can say, there's a million other people out there you go to, but you come to me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lose money on this. You want to make variations, then you have to pay for it.
Yes.
Flowers go up. This quote's only good for 6 months.
Yeah.
You have to not only have it in a contract, but you have to reiterate it to them when they talk, because a lot of people don't read anything anyway.
Yeah.
And if they start putting on a Barney, I mean, you've got to push on that and don't absorb any of that. You sound like somebody who would absorb that.
Yeah, I think that I probably have been a bit frightened during the lockdowns, and it hasn't necessarily happened too badly to me, but a lot of industry vendors have been absolutely ripped apart. You know, whole families of people have left bad reviews for them, and it's just emotionally killed them. And I am frightened of that happening, of being under attack because I'm trying to uphold my contract.
And then if she does get any sort of negative feedback, even if it's just a look of a bride when she delivers a bouquet, she starts to second guess herself.
Again, we go back to the mindset of a business owner. Unfortunately, you have to build your mind around that. You have to be resilient for that. You know what's going to come your way.
Yeah.
So let me stop here. What would you say a legitimate business person does in any business, not just florists? How do you think they would approach those things in a mindset sense?
Just by believing in their business and the rules and structures they've got in place, the processes.
So then are you going to apply that to yourself?
Yes.
You just answered your own
I
question.
know.
You're frightened because you've allowed yourself to get sucked into the vortex. So for me, you've got absolutely nothing to be frightened of. I mean, you've got great customer base now. You've got demand. You've got some things you've got to manage. Yes, I think you need to change your mindset, that's all. I just think it's pretty simple for you. You just need to change the way you think about what you're doing. So what's really important is every now and then is to take a step back, sort of imagine yourself in the business. Just sit back and somewhere quiet and have a half an hour to yourself.
I think that would really help my mindset a lot and believing in myself. I'm quite ballsy, like I like doing things, I like taking on things, but then when they do well, I get a little bit like shocked that they've done well, or
That's a confidence thing.
Yeah.
In her head, I think she's still just a small local florist. I don't think sometimes she realises her skill and ability that she could be up there.
I only got diagnosed with ADHD last year as an adult, so I felt my whole life feeling like a bit of a failure because I never knew I had it. So when I do well at something, it's hard to accept that something's successful because I felt my whole life like a bit of a failure and a dope because things that were easy for other people were really hard for me. So
Well, guess what? Something is easy for you is near impossible for other people, and that's why they're paying you money
yeah,
to listen to your online videos.
yeah,
Think about that for a second. Don't feel judged by anyone. Never feel guilty. You're a business owner. You're out there every single day backing yourself with your actions. So back yourself fully with your own mind. It's your decision, back it. You've created good value. And if you didn't, your business wouldn't still be there. Leah knows she's a damn good florist. Why else would she be booked out for the rest of the year? The market tells you the truth. When you genuinely back yourself, it does pay dividends in heaps of aspects of your business. You need to shout it from the rooftops. Be confident. Let the confidence in yourself show up in everything you do. For example, smiling at a customer. Or when you're building your website with GoDaddy, make sure that's customer facing. Recognize you've got it and own it. But you've got to build a skill up of how you deal with yourself.
yeah. That's a really hard one in business.
No, don't say that. You're affirming that to yourself now.
So I need to just
Say, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to start. I'm going to
I'm
build up.
definitely going to do it.
And I'm going to do it. I'm going to get better and better and better and better at it.
Yeah.
Just the same as you got better and better and better at flowers.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something that needs to happen.
And you survived COVID. You survived lockdown. Most people didn't.
Yeah.
In your industry.
Pretty wild.
There's skills there, man. There's a lot of big skills there.
Thank you.
But
appreciate it.
but I'm not just saying that for any other reason than to say build the skill similarly as to how to deal with yourself.
Yes.
Okay?
And not be my own worst enemy.
Don't. Correct. Be a good business person. Manage yourself and rebuild your mindset.
I've got lots to work on.
Actually, I'll be honest with you, you've only got a little bit to work on.
Oh, thank you.
But you just got to do it often.
Yes. And start just believing in myself.
Believe in yourself and practice on sitting back and having a look at what you did.
Work smarter. Thank you, Mark.
Killed it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It's been an honour to meet you. My mum's so jealous.
Building up your skills and believing yourself is no different to learning a trade. Your brain has to get used to confidence. It takes time, dedication, effort, practice, and repeat. Lee's only a great florist because she has spent years committed to it. If she spends the same type of time committed to practicing a good mindset, a strong mindset, then she's going to have a great mindset too. So set aside some structured time to work on it and it will come to you. Right there is a lesson for everyone.